For the last few months, we have been hearing the speculations that Credit Suisse, one of the largest investment banks in the world, can cause the next financial crisis. The memory of the 2007 and 2008 financial crashes is still fresh in our minds, when Lehman Brothers, the fourth largest investment bank in US at that time, had collapsed and filed for bankruptcy. Now Credit Suisse, the second largest investment bank in Switzerland and one of the 9 global bulge bracket banks that does business in investment banking, wealth management and providing financial services to the most affluent clients in the world, is under speculation. In November 2021, the Financial Stability Board included Credit Suisse in their list of global systematically important financial institutions, or SIFI, which means that their failure can trigger a financial crisis and they are too big to fail. As a Swiss bank, Credit Suisse has a history of 167 years, but in recent years they have been criticized for many bad decisions, overlooked risk management, money laundering, and abrupt changes in the management. Credit Suisse stock had hit an all-time low and lost 70% of its value in the last 1 year, and more than 95% from its all-time high in 2007. In this video today, we'll talk about the Credit Suisse, incidents that triggered the speculation in the media, some of the bad decisions by the company and why it is compared to Lehman Brothers, how it can impact the global economy, and finally what changes Credit Suisse is doing to regain its position. So, stick around. Credit Suisse was founded by a Swiss politician Alfred Escher in 1956 to secure the finances for his own rail company. Over time, the bank expanded to provide retail banking to Swiss people and other financial services to the businesses. In 1978, they partnered with New York-based investment bank First Boston, and after having a majority share in 1988, they established as a full-service investment bank in US, with offices in almost all major financial hubs in the world. From the late 90s to mid-2000s were the golden years for Credit Suisse. They were one of the finest investment banks and involved in major IPOs and mergers and acquisitions. By early 2000, they became the largest investment bank in Switzerland, leaving behind its longtime rival UBS. Before the 2008 financial crisis, Credit Suisse was involved in real estate, like every other investment bank in US, and created products backing residential mortgages in the form of mortgage-backed securities, and then sold them to its investors. When the 2008 financial crisis happened, many banks were impacted by it. Some were diluted and few were bailed out by governments. Credit Suisse was also impacted, and despite losses worth $1 billion, they controlled the risk pretty well and came out strong. According to the Wall Street Journal in 2008, Credit Suisse survived the crisis better than many competitors. Although they survived the 2008 crisis, the next 14 years were full of scandals and controversies for them. But before moving further, if you have enjoyed the video this far, please smash on the like button, and if you are interested to know more on the business stories, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell notification so that you never miss a new video from us. Thank you. After the 2008 crisis, there was no impact by Credit Suisse, but another Swiss bank, UBS, was majorly impacted. They recorded losses of $18 billion in subprime mortgages, and the Swiss government had to bail out the bank. After this incident, the Swiss government became more restrictive and applied regulations to hold sufficient capital to ensure the continuity of service. Credit Suisse was also impacted by these restrictions. Along with this, Credit Suisse was investigated by the US authorities for misrepresenting the risk of mortgage-based loans during the 2008 crisis. After these restrictions from Swiss and US governments, Credit Suisse cut their investment banking division and started putting more focus on wealth management. They started working for high net worth and ultra high net worth clients. It then followed a series of bad decisions by the company. One such decision was investing in high-risk products. As an investment bank, sometimes banks have to invest in high-risk products, but risk management is also a crucial part of these kind of organizations. But Credit Suisse has neglected the risk multiple times and had scandals one after another. One of the major scandals at Credit Suisse started with a company named Greensill, who was the biggest non-bank provider of supply chain finance and was providing supply chain loans to its clients all over the globe. And to work on its operations, they got loans from other outside investors, and Credit Suisse was one of them. Now Credit Suisse convinced its investors to invest in Greensill, saying that it's a good opportunity for them. And Credit Suisse customers invested around $10 billion in Greensill. Now for people who don't know what the supply chain finance is, it is like invoice discounting. For example, if you sell your products on Amazon, Amazon won't pay you immediately. In this industry, payments usually come within a 30 to 90 days of credit period. So if you sold products for 100k, you will get the payment only after the credit period. Now by then, if you need the money to run your operations, then you can go to Greensill and give them the bill from Amazon. Greensill will give you around 80 to 90% of the credit amount as a loan. So this business was working fine. Many people had invested in Greensill and were getting good returns. But now Greensill went one step ahead and they started doing future invoice discounting. They claimed to mitigate the risk by using the advanced AI technologies to predict the creditworthiness of their borrowers. They started giving loans on the sales that can happen in future. This game was super risky, and investors like Credit Suisse have not mentioned this risk to any of their customers. Now the more interesting part is that many of the Credit Suisse investors are pension funds, and Credit Suisse didn't even tell them about this risk. At last, this bubble burst from Greensill and everyone had to face the losses. Many customers sued Credit Suisse for information hiding before the investment. After these losses, Credit Suisse had to return around $5.9 billion to its investors. In April 2021, Credit Suisse recorded a $5.5 billion loss due to its risky exposure to the US hedge fund Archegos Capital Management. This company was managing the assets of an American trader and investor Bill Wong. Credit Suisse provided brokerage services to this company. Archegos Capital reportedly lost $20 billion due to its investing in high-risk stocks. Ultimately, due to its investment in the company, Credit Suisse had to face the losses. And after all these risky investments in Greensill and Archegos, the bank's chief risk and compliance officer and head of investment bank had to leave the firm. Credit Suisse has paid over $10 billion to US regulators for a wide range of offenses. That includes selling mortgage-backed securities to its clients, leading to the 2008 financial crisis, and also helping its high-net-worth clients to falsify their tax returns and hiding their assets by creating shell companies. Also, Credit Suisse has few money laundering cases as well. As per courts, Credit Suisse was not able to stop cocaine-related money laundering, and its management was held responsible. Apart from this, Credit Suisse has allegations for information leak of its customers' accounts and also spying on its ex-employees. All these scandals have impacted Credit Suisse badly. They currently have a market cap of just $12 billion, making them the least valuable of the so-called bulge bracket investment banks. Monetary losses are on one side. All these scandals, one after another, had a major impact on its image and investor confidence. After all these scandals, one by one, the share price of Credit Suisse fell by 70% in the last 1 year. People started comparing Credit Suisse to Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers also had the same kind of downfall in its share price. After all the news in the media, Credit Suisse CEO sent a memo to its employees saying, "I know it's not easy to remain focused amid the many stories you read in the media, in particular given the many factually inaccurate statements being made. That said, I trust that you are not confusing our day-to-day stock price performance with the strong capital base and liquidity position of the bank." But this statement also backfired, and people started comparing this with the similar statement by Lehman Brothers CEO just a few days before the collapse. Now, because of all these things, the CDS or the credit default swap of Credit Suisse has increased. In December last year, the CDS spread surged from 40 basis points to 444 basis points, which indicate the weak investor confidence. If we compare it with the Lehman Brothers, it was increased much faster for them, from 135 basis points to 610 basis points. But now the most important question is, can this impact the global economy? If we see the 2008 crisis, it was because of the housing bubble in US. That time many banks gave bad loans and also created a product which they named mortgage-backed securities as an insurance to save them from these bad loans, and also sold this product to their investors without telling them about the risk associated with this. Ultimately, this bubble burst, which led to the financial crisis in the whole world. Also in 2008, the crisis was not limited to Lehman Brothers. Many other banks like Citibank and Goldman Sachs also faced problems. Citibank has to be bailed out by the US government. Merrill Lynch also had losses and was acquired by Bank of America. Bear Stearns was also acquired by JPMC. So many investment banks have faced the problems, and this all led to the financial crisis. For Credit Suisse, the problem is more internal due to the bad risk management, money laundering and scandals. So for now, the crisis is only limited to Credit Suisse, and there should not be any major impact on the US economy or the rest of the world. We might see some fluctuation happening in the stock market if there comes another scandal or controversy from the Credit Suisse, but it won't have much global impact like 2008. Credit Suisse new CEO joined the company in July 2020, and he is trying to solve this matter. Although two of the biggest scandals happened within his tenure only, but the risky investments started way before he joined. The most speculated changes for the company were announced in October 2022, where Credit Suisse announced that they are doing a lot of restructuring in its executive positions. Also, they are making changes for the investment bank division to significantly reduce risk-weighted assets. As per the changes, Credit Suisse First Boston will work as an independent capital markets and advisory bank. They are also transferring a significant portion of the securitized product group to an investor group led by the Apollo Global Management. Credit Suisse has plans to allocate 80% of the capital to wealth management, Swiss bank, asset management and markets by 2025. Apart from this, Credit Suisse also mentioned about cutting 9,000 jobs. Commenting on the bank's plan regarding the restructuring, Credit Suisse CEO said, "This is a historic moment for Credit Suisse. We are radically restructuring the investment bank to help create a new bank that is simpler, more stable, and with a more focused business model built around client needs. But right now, the bank is struggling to build its position back. Many wealthy clients have moved their assets out of the bank, and time only can tell the next chapter for Credit Suisse." Well, that's about Credit Suisse. What do you think about it? Do you think that this restructuring will help Credit Suisse and they will be able to gain its glory again? Or there will be more scandals and controversies? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like it. If you are new here, please subscribe to our channel and help us grow. We are trying to bring more amazing business stories to you. If you are subscribing to the channel, please comment I subscribed and I'll reply to all of you. And with that said, I shall catch you in the next one. Thank you and have a nice day.